Change is the one element that demands effective communication. It's amazing all the things that's happening right now. So, we're looking at the pandemic, rumors of wars, and supply chain issues. All these things are happening right this minute. Now, guess what? We have so many resources. We have technology, and we have people able and capable of doing it. So, what is the issue? The issue really is um, leadership. It is the lack thereof, and in some cases, the implication that only certain people can lead, which is kind of crazy, right? So, today's episode, of the Better You Leadership Project, Better You Leadership. What we're talking about today is change, right? Communicate consistently and clearly to combat. What we want to do is we're going to combat the relentless rate of change and just keep it basic. And that's whether it's inside your home or inside a workplace or in your social environments. There's so much coming at us, and we have our devices in our hand, and we're believing it all to be true. And so I am saying to you is um, we want to make sure that we are able to communicate consistently and effectively. Be clear about the communication, about what we can and cannot change. And let's focus more on what we can do, right? And I'm here to say, oh, I see you said it's the ego mixed in with their version of leadership. Oh, you just said a whole mouthful right there. You sure did. So, although change was always occurring, technology and the pandemic, it's been accelerated because of those things, the awareness of these issues, these items that are changing. So leaders must simply communicate often and clearly, develop your managers, and support well-being. So communicate, develop others, and support well-being. I believe with those three, we can actually move through whatever this is we're calling it today. So my name is Angela M. Odom, and I'm the host of the Better You Leadership Project, Better You Leadership Podcast. Better You Leadership Podcast. So change is the one element that demands effective communication. And I'm here to tell you that we together, leadership, right? That's what we're doing. It's an ongoing journey to be better leaders. So the women who are listening to this podcast, uh, if you put some of these tips, techniques, and tactics in place, then you're going to build your skills and your leadership capacity. What I'm doing is teaching women the nuances of personal development with the intent of you earning more respect and more revenue. So, this is a weekly podcast where I offer insights to help you on your journey. I should say your journey is our journey, is my journey also. So, the whole point is for you to become a more trusted leader. So, continue to listen every week. And this particular episode is sponsored by the Odom General Store, where you'll find merch for leaders and items that inspire. And that's at odomgeneralstore.com. And that's ODOM. So, what we're talking about today is you put yourself in a position to communicate consistently and clearly. The expectations, the achievements, the mission, the goals um, that you are intending to manifest in your organization with your team, with your folks, right? So you want to develop your managers. You're thinking, oh, this thing is, we're going to get back to normal. There's no normal. There's no such thing as a normal, right? We're in a constant um, flux change. That is the only thing that really is permanent. The fact that we are changing is what we can depend on. And so you think about at one point we're thinking only a few people could work from home, virtual learning. And now it's pretty much hybrid, right? Or, some people are going into the office on certain days and then some are not at all. And a few years ago, that was like, oh my goodness, that's not going to happen. You got to come in so we can see you, so we can look at you, so we can watch you. All these different reasons. And now those reasons have failed the test. We know that we still operate. And so, what is it, you as a leader, what do you need to do? You need to develop your managers, you need to develop your teammates, you need to offer, training, have conversations that's going to set your folks up for success, and yourself also. Get you some help, right? And you want to focus on well-being, and that is career, finance, community, social, and physical. When we're talking about, what do we do with this change? There's so much happening. Well, I'm giving you the key, right? Communicate, develop your folks, and then focus on well-being. Otherwise, if you were to want to, forge, continue to go through the normal things that you were doing prior to a couple of years ago, the same ways you would interact with people a few years ago, even a few months ago, it's not working because guess what? They have so much, so many other distractions, so many other things that are happening in their lives, right? And so you want to focus on well-being. And I tell you, um, sometimes it's just a matter of being heard. Your your folks, your team, your company, your family, they want to be heard. Like their ideas matter, right? And why is that? Why is it? Because leadership was, when we think about what leadership was yesterday, or a few years ago, or a decade ago, it was people, mostly men, usually white men, with formal authority, with a title, with power, and with wealth. That thing is gone, right? Do you see how many people have different ways and different opportunities to create wealth, create income, to have two and three streams of residual income? People can get out and hustle, do other things. So leadership is people, old, young, experienced, inexperienced. Some have little money, lots of money, and some are wealthy. But leadership is change. It's not necessarily a position or a title. It's not a man or a woman, right? It's not always the same thing. So in this environment of change, understand um, what's going to work to get the job done, right? What's going to motivate or inspire or incentivize your team to move through this moment to get things done, right? And so you going in there talking about beating your chest about, you're the boss. Nobody's listening. Nobody cares, right? So I'm telling you what it is to focus on. This is like a gift, right? So I'm telling you to communicate the need to develop, even if it's not you yourself that's providing the training or the opportunity or the mentoring or the sponsoring of the training. Communicate the need for your teammates, your peers, your employees, your family, your friends to develop themselves, to get developed, to be open to it. And let's think about the three things, three areas that would need to be developed. One is agency, and that's realizing you can influence your destiny, and having the confidence to act on it, right? So you want to communicate the need to develop, and you tell people you have agencies, you have the opportunity to do so many things. So one thing is to go ahead and put it out there as you would with your child. You say, hey, you have agency, you can think through things, you can do hard things. Try this, fall down, fall down, fall down, and figure it out, right? Agency, that's the first thing to develop, is the fact that um, you can influence your own destiny, right? So that place, that location, that job is not the only place that you would be valued. And so once we all get that, then oh my God, the second thing would be mindset. And here within the Better You community, mindset is what we focus on consistently, right? So that is seeing life as an adventure, right? That a place where you learn and grow. It's not just this is what I came here with, I was born with these skills and that's all I have. No, it is we are evolving as we go, as we were in, when we were in elementary school, right? We had certain skills then, right? And then when we went to middle school, I went to junior high, then we gained more school skills. We learned more things. We're exposed to more. We evolve. And then high school, and some went to college, some went to other places, workforce. But over time, each year, each decade, each week, we should be open to learning, to growing. So the mindset, the growth mindset, is the second thing that we would communicate as leaders for others and ourselves mostly to develop. We need to develop our mindset. And then, of course, skill set, right? And this is the skills that lead people to solve problems, right? So we need to have the skill to solve problems. We have so much change going on. We have so many resources. There's so many resources available. There's this technology, and then there's a knowledge of that. But guess what? Lots of things seem to stay the same, right? And so we want to communicate these three things as leaders, as move through our day, interact with others or not. Some of us are are scared to talk to people, which is kind of weird, right? So we want to be able to communicate clearly and effectively, to be consistent in that manner. Oh, by the way, if you know anything about me, then the first thing I'd ask you to do is to be kind, right? And if you're going to break up with someone, several relationship, you don't have to be nasty or boisterous about it. You don't have to tell people about it, because sometimes you need to establish some space between you and the people on your job, right? And sometimes you want to create space between people who are simply being mean, nasty, whatever, or attempting to have power and control over you. And you want to have some space between it so you can think, so you can go back to those three: agency, right? Realizing that you can influence your own destiny, and then the mindset, growth mindset, and then skill sets, whatever skills you need to develop. That's hard. I'm not saying any of this is easy, but I'm telling you that the world is changing at um, a rate that sometimes is just incomprehensible. And you're like, whoa, let me just sit and meditate. I would just tell you, just give yourself some space, take some deep breaths, and then realize how you can focus on agency, mindset, and skill set. All right? Agency, mindset, and skill set. And so that's where we are as leaders. We want to communicate consistently rather. And this is a part of leading yourself. And so on the Better You Leadership podcast, what we're talking about, this whole community is leading yourself, leading others, and leading organizations, right? We're leading others. And we want to know, first of all, what do I need to do to lead myself? And so I just gave you like a big gift. I've given you a big old gift. So I would encourage you to go for it. And so, as always, I tell you to guard your habits, your routines, your mindset, and mostly your time. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And that, of course, is by Aristotle. I love that. I love that quote, right? So, for you, if you're ready to become a more trusted and effective leader, schedule a virtual fit session with me and just go to angelaodom.com /leadership capacity. And we'll sit and talk virtually on Zoom we'll sit and talk through your goals, what it is you are seeking, and we'll help you get closer to that. The Better You Leadership podcast is hosted by a proven leader, and I teach women the nuances of personal development so that you might earn more respect and revenue. And first of all, you want to earn the respect of yourself, right? Of the person you're looking at in the mirror, and understanding that you have agency. You have agency. So go ahead and go to the Better You Leadership podcast. It's available on all the platforms, all the streaming platforms. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon Music. Go there. Make sure you give the podcast a rating of 5. A rating of 5. Don't be fooling around with 4, 3, whatever. Don't play with me. 5. Do that, and then of course go ahead and subscribe so that you are notified of the next episode, right? Notified of the next episode. And with that said, just know that I'm rooting for you. There's so many things going on. It is okay. Remember, communicate consistently. Go to the basics and be clear about it, right? And then develop your team, your people. Develop your people, and then focus on well-being. Right? Focus on well-being. With that said, make it a great day. And if you can't make it great, well, you better make it wonderful.